Hi everyone, this is Jenny Castellino. I'm the founder of the Face, the Voice and Soul of Thrivality Coaching. In this 6-minute video, I want to check in with you and find out how you are doing. And by that I mean how you are really feeling, especially in light of the fact that the World Health Organization just a few days ago announced that because of the ongoing spread of COVID-19, it's now been classified as a global pandemic. So you're probably looking at me thinking, how can you even ask that question? How do you think I'm feeling? I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling nervous, and I'm feeling very concerned. And I get that. I too am feeling very concerned because obviously at this moment in time, we don't know how many people are going to be affected and how long this is going to go on for. But what I'm also concerned about is the increasing percentage of people that I believe are struggling with the psychological fallout of the spread of this virus. By that, I mean that they're struggling with a number of symptoms, which looks something like this. Insomnia, so it's affecting their sleep. They're getting panic attacks, they're getting anxiety attacks. It's affecting their consumption of food. Either on the one hand, they've lost their appetites and are hardly eating anything, or they're increasing the amount that they're eating, but they know that they're not making great choices. They're getting fearful of going out at all from the house. They're feeling that everything is out of their control. They're obsessing constantly. The only thing that they can think about is COVID-19 for all of their waking day and sometimes during the night as well. They're getting night terrors potentially. They're getting what I call flash forwards, which means that unlike a flashback where you get a reminder, a memory of something difficult that you've experienced, here they're actually expressing that and they're seeing that in their future. So they're seeing all their loved ones and they themselves struggling with the illness and the worst possible outcome ensuing as a result of that. They have lost all joy in life and they would admit that. They're fearful not just about the disease, but they're fearful about the financial repercussions for them, because if they're not working, then how they're going to feed their family members and look after themselves and those that they love. So their whole lives are basically really been drawn into a place of absolute fear, uncertainty and doubt, to the point that it's incapacitated them. Now, one of the things that this strikes me is when you look at a lot of those symptoms, it feels to me like they're struggling with a pre-traumatic stress response. So unlike PTSD, which people struggle with after they've had some kind of trauma or experienced a trauma, where they have triggers that cause them both physical and emotional distress, here it's individuals who haven't yet gone through that in most cases, but they're still feeling like they have. That every moment of the day they are struggling physiologically and psychologically to cope. And so I find that very concerning, obviously as a health coach, but as a human being as well. The question is, why do we think so negatively, and is it common? And the answer is yes. Research actually shows us we have up to 80,000 thoughts a day. Some say 30, some say 80. But out of those thoughts, a full 80% are purportedly negative thoughts. And out of the negative thoughts, 90% of those are repetitive. Why? Because we're preconditioned towards a negative bias, to see things negatively in order to survive, to be hyper-vigilant to anything that's potentially a threat. Now that's okay if you have a tiger in the room and you need to run away. So that's where your fight or flight response, either fight it or get out of there, checks in. But the concern I have with an ongoing stress like the situation we're currently in is that the body is still responding as if there's a tiger in the room, but it's having to do that every single moment of every single day on an ongoing basis. And so what happens here is you get caught in fear, and fear and stress cause disease. So let me say that. Dis-ease or disease are caused by stress. Where stress is high, dis-ease is high as well. And so dis-ease or stress can be physical, it can be emotional, or it can be chemically induced. But when we cannot process those and we cannot deal with them, then we struggle physiologically and psychologically. So what are we seeing as a result of this? Well, I heard anecdotally of somebody who recently had a heart attack just because of the fear and the stress that COVID-19 was causing him. I had another person who called me to say that they're now on anti-anxiety medication because they couldn't function anymore, because all they could think about was COVID-19 and what it was going to mean for them. And so we have these scenarios that are really playing out in our hearts and our heads, and I do feel that the media has covered a lot in terms of the economic implications, the social implications, the healthcare implications, but it's not focusing enough on the psychological implications, both short-term and long-term. So as a health coach, that's one of the things I look to do with clients, is to help them navigate this very challenging time. The question is, what is actually causing that? What is causing this pre-traumatic stress response in individuals? That's the first question. And the second one is there anything that we can do for ourselves to help ourselves? And the answer is, watch the next two videos. The first one I will be talking about, in my humble opinion, one of the big causes of that response. And the second one we will be looking at what we can do to boost our immune system, because that's going to be really important in challenging times, and also how to change our perception and our perspective to one that's actually going to serve us better rather than deplete us. If you enjoyed this video, then please do share it, put your comments below, tell me how you are coping and your loved ones are coping. And in the meantime, this is Jenny Castellino from Thrivality.